Good morning. It is 8 a.m. It is the 22nd day of March 2021. I'm getting my second COVID shot today. Wish me luck. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM. Once again, thank you, Legion of Myths, for allowing me to sit in on your live stream yesterday. Hopefully I helped. I will probably readdress those issues now that I've actually had time to think about them in another vlog. But today, now, it's Monday, which means news. Dun, 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 dun. News. Okay. Yeah, whatever. What's going on in the world of gaming today? Gen Con will officially be an in-person physical convention again this year, taking place in Indianapolis, Indiana from September 16th through 19th. Thank you, Gen Con, for breaking through and being brave. There was a controversy because they had set it for an original date, but then they changed it because it fell on Yom Kippur, the Jewish high holiday, and they didn't want to, make Jewish players like myself feel like, oh, well, we can't go to Gen Con because it's a high holiday, Yom Kippur, which is, the Jewish New Year's. So, yeah, they moved it. Big deal. Who cares? At least they're having it face-to-face. Indianapolis. Check out the website if you want to try and get badges. Yes. New Dungeons & Dragons action game, Dark Alliance, released an official gameplay trailer. As opposed to the emulated GoPro announcement trailer from last year, the new trailer gives us an indication of the gameplay, but doesn't lose the style as the gameplay footage is accompanied by Ozzy Osbourne's Straight to Hell. So I think it appears to be a third-person combat team game. Don't know much more about it. I will check it out. Pre-orders are being accepted right now. The tentative release date for Dark Alliance is June 22nd for $40. Pazio has announced the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Combat Tracker app to recreate the utility of the combat pad. So this lets you do combat order, stuff like that. Track who did what. If anybody's got a thingy on them, Susan's invisible, Jim's charm, stuff like that. You can, mark things off of that if you're using Pathfinder 2nd Edition and want to speed up play. Couldn't hurt. We already talked about this, but ICV2 released the quarterly sales report for the first quarter of 2021. Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder dominating, of course. The big surprises were Cyberpunk, Alien, and Fate taking the top selling for D&D. And Call of Cthulhu nowhere to be seen. The number one selling board game is Pandemic, I guess, for the morbid irony. For non-collectible card games, Codenames is the top selling game. And for collectible card games, Magic the Gathering. For non-collectible miniatures, Warhammer 40k coming up. And there we go. Mofetus has released a new Quick Start box set for the Star Trek Adventure role-playing game. Specifically, core rules centered on the Klingon Empire. The 37-page free PDF is a streamlined version of his supposedly very confusing 2D20 system. There you go. So if you want to play some Klingons. Roll20 has added Savage Worlds Adventure Edition to its platform, available from its site Marketplace. So if you are a fan of the wonderfully strange Savage Worlds and want to play it on Roll20, now you can. The Stardew Valley board game came out and sold out the day it launched. It was so if you're not familiar with Stardew Valley, it is a video game where you it's a farming / dating simulator / dungeon crawler. And apparently there was a board game that came out and sold out the day it came out. Wow, way to go. That's pretty cool. I've never played Stardew Valley. I watch other people play it, and it's fun. So, Legendary Games has delisted its Far East product line. It has removed the entire Far East product line from sale. The company released a Pathfinder 2e book called Asian Spells Compendium earlier this week, but it was quickly criticized for cultural insensitivity, especially during a week where a number of numerous Asian Americans had been murdered. Well, I mean, come on. They had no way of knowing. They scheduled it to be released and then just that happened to happen. I mean, that's just bad luck but I can see why. Apparently because one of the writers for it was not Asian. I mean, I'm normally against this kind of thing, but I can understand because of what happened this week with all the violence to Asians, pulling it. So, yeah. What else is going on in the world of gaming? Oh, and the reviews are in for Candlekeep Mysteries. So, of course, all these reviews are from people who got copies for free from Wizards of the Coast. So, of course, they will be, generally positive. The positive is flexibility. And of course, they like the advice of how DMs can set hard and soft limits to ensure everyone at the table is comfortable, which is necessary since some story aspects could be disturbing. They like that the adventures could be worked in any existing campaign with or without a link to Candlekeep. Of course, that was the whole point. They have that it has enough material to keep DMs busy for ages. Trying new things. There's nothing new. Okay, whatever. Now the not so positive. It doesn't offer any new rules. The adventures aren't very combat heavy. Some of the early adventures are very weak. No connecting plots, but then it's an anthology, so it doesn't have to have it. Really? Come on, guys. You can do better than this. We know there's things wrong with the game. That it's not a standard adventure. Okay, yeah. So, of course, nobody mentions the fact that none of them are, in fact, actually mysteries. And at least 3 of them are repeats of adventures somebody else wrote. And I'm sure those, I don't think they're going to give, the aliens one with the monsters in the mine. I don't think anybody's going to give Bob Reel the credit because he wrote that adventure first. Yeah, so all in all, it reads like, it's a semi-decent adventure anthology of loosely connected non-mysteries. While Wizards of the Coast continues to try and force its let's make sure everybody's happy and comfortable and Dungeons & Dragons isn't dangerous or scary or upsetting anymore. Philosophy on to players and keeps changing 5th edition from what it originally is. I don't think anything post Tasha's D&D is not D&D anymore. 5th edition at one point probably was, the best current version of D&D when it first came out, but since then Wizards of the Coast choices have made it less and less D&D. It stopped being D&D at some point and became Wizards of the Coast D20 somewhere between 4th and 5th, and now it's not even, it's Wizards of the Coast D20. It's not Dungeons & Dragons anymore. I think they should just stop calling it Dungeons & Dragons, give the name back to Gygax or Luke or Ernie or whatever, and just call it Wizards of the Coast D20, because with these new inclusive rules and changes to races and stuff like that, it's not Dungeons & Dragons, which is fine. It's fine that it's not Dungeons & Dragons anymore. It's fine that it's becoming their Pathfinder. It's fine that it's becoming their own thing. It's fine that they are turning 5th edition into Wizards of the Coast D20 Hollywood fantasy. That's fine. I have no problem with that. And if they want to, have this agenda associated with it, whether I agree with every aspect of the agenda or not, doesn't matter. Again, it's fine, and I'm not the target audience. So again, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, you can do whatever you want. I'm hoping eventually Hasbro will see the writing on the wall now that it has restructured Dungeons & Dragons, and we'll see some more positive changes instead of this forced, political correct toxicity. But it's not D&D anymore. Let's face it, it's not D&D. It's its own new game. I mean, 4th edition wasn't D&D. It was Magic the Gathering Eberron, the role-playing game. 5th edition started as a homage to D&D, but then it's become its own thing. It's not D&D anymore, which is fine. It's fine, but it's not D&D, so stop calling it D&D. Just call it Wizards of the Coast, D20, Hollywood Medieval Fantasy. Anyways, that's what I think, but what do I know? I'm an idiot. If you appreciate this content, comment down below. If you don't appreciate this content and are planning on unsubscribing, let me know why, because I can't fix it if you don't tell me what's broken. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. 500 subs by August 4th, and I'll do something crazy. Look, I bought a new webcam. As soon as I figure out how it works, we'll see if it works. I'm your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Hope you're having a great morning. And until next time, get off my lawn, you meddling kids.